I want to jump into the tier list with you guys of how I feel about all these software. And the tier list will be based about not based about like how good it is, but how replaceable I guess it is. So, for example, in my tier list out of the software, S tier, Meshy. Like I said, like I just showed you, I don't think there's something out there that could do the same thing as Meshy does and save you so much money. Okay. Um, Really great tool, really great software, actually worth investing the $10 to generate all those 3D models that you could pump into your mod, right? Right below that, I have Cloud, Anthropic's Cloud, because it is really good at coding, guys. It's leading the pack. So it's right there with Gemini. I would say Cloud is a little bit better, but you could use Gemini if you want, and give it a go and see if you like it. Gemini, I found, still makes some mistakes, so you're gonna have to proofread its work, and I don't think it's available inside your Visual Studio yet. But Codex from Cloud is really solid, guys. Really solid if you want to use it. Just it's very expensive. It's very expensive, so I don't like it on that point. I hope it gets cheaper, but for what it's offering, it is worth the price. It is worth the price. So below there, B tier, I would say these are, I mean, they're really replaceable. ChatGPT, there's so many alternatives now. It's very obvious when you use ChatGPT. Um, but it's the user friendly option, right? Like you talk to it like a friend, you talk to it like a genie in a bottle, and it helps you with that. So in that aspect, it's really good, but it's showing its limited use at this point, guys. It's showing its limited use. It's not there anymore. Same thing with Leonardo. There are so many alternatives for Leonardo. There's so many out there photo generation tools. Leonardo is just the one I use. You could find one out there that's even better. I guarantee you. And they're all around the same price point. Just find the cheapest one for you that does the style you like, and use that one. I mean, you don't even have to get it. Honestly, you could just use ChatGPT generation if you want. Save some money. It's all up to you about the style you want to go with, the money that you have available to you, and the time you want to spend. Right. So, in my opinion, that is my tier list. That is my advice for anybody who's entering Hoi4 modding or any modding workspace and is looking for tools to use. These are the ones I would go for, guys. These are the ones that are solid right now. Leading the pack is Meshy, followed by Cloud, and then below that is all the other ones that you guys could find. So, hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today, I want to talk to you guys about a bit of a controversial topic in well, today's society, I guess, right? So we're going to talk about AI tools, and I want to showcase. Well, I don't believe anybody's going to make a video talking about AI tools because, well, they're mostly disliked. But in case you do, I want to make a video talking about them, how to use them, and which ones I have found to be quite useful and which ones I don't really like. ChatGPT, um, Anthropic's Cloud. That one I recently started using, and I found it to be really good, really, really good. And then I also use Meshy. Meshy is for 3D model generation. That one is also really good. So it is surprising how far 3D modeling, uh, AI generation has come, and I believe it's pretty hard to tell the difference, especially in a game like Hearts of Iron, um, where the models are so small in the map. It's really worth thinking about using a tool like that for any custom model generation if you're going to go that route. And then also, I use Leonardo, which is my graphics tool generation. You'll notice with a lot of um, services that offer to do a variety of things like ChatGPT or I guess Cloud or even Google Gemini, when they offer a image generating service, it's usually Nano Banana. ChatGPT has their own, but um, ChatGPT and Nano Banana have a certain feel to the look of their generated images that it's kind of obvious it's AI. So if you're fine with that, I would say stick with those services. You don't need to buy a custom plan with, you know, a graphics generation tool. But for me, Leonardo gives you the opportunity with different models to generate graphics that don't look too AI generated. which might destroy the feel of the mod you're going for. You know what I mean? So today's focus is on this mod called Focus Tree Haver, which is what I use to reduce the focus time of any focus inside the game. So, for example, we have this button here, and it costs 125 political power to use it. And once it's clicked, it'll reduce the focus that we have selected by 35 days. So let's select a focus. And the way I did this was whenever a focus is selected, it assigns a country flag that is the ID of the focus. And then when the button is clicked, it activates a decision that checks for each country flag possible, which is basically every focus possible for that specific country. And if it's active, it'll skip the days by 35 using an effect. So this is very tedious, very repetitive. It would have taken me like a month to get done, but using Anthropic's Cloud, I was able to knock it out in 3 days. So that's every focus in the game, going through it, making a select effect and all that. This is where AI is really helpful and very useful because this mod would not be possible without it. I'm just putting that out there. So for demonstrations, let's click this one, right? And then let's give ourselves some political power. And then as you can see, when I click it, boom, the focus tree has been halved. So you can press play, and there we go. Awesome. All right, so let's show you how Codex is established. So go into our internet browser. Here we go. Right now I have open Leonardo, but we'll jump into Cloud. So this is the Cloud home screen. It's kind of like ChatGPT if you ever use it. You just type in here whatever you want to talk to it about. But all you really need to know is to go to your settings and usage, right? So I have found that for heavy tasks like this, it does take a lot of usage out of what you have. So if you're fine with spending money, pay for the extra usage. If not, take your time, wait for the timer to go up. I didn't want to wait for the timer up. I have money to spend, so I dropped money to get this mod done. So keep that in mind that this is a very important page to look at because it'll stop you from whatever you're doing if you don't plan it correctly. So all you have to worry about is your current session, which resets daily, and then your weekly limit. Down here is if you want to bypass those limits, which you don't need to do at all. Okay? After that, what you're going to do is open your workspace, which is Visual Studio. And right now I already have the editor open to my workspace for this mod. And on the top right corner, right here, you should see the Cloud Code button, which is what's going to open Codex. Now, when you open Codex, it's going to look similar to what's online. The main thing you have to realize is that it does not save your conversations. So every time you close it and open it, you have to start over with the conversation of what you're going with. So very important to keep in mind not to close this editor or leave things for later because the context will run out and then you'll be stuck at having to explain what you wanted to do over again. So Codex I have found to be really good at a lot of things. Its main limitation I have found is with scripted GUI graphics, but scripted GUIs are already complicated. So I don't blame the AI for not knowing about how to use it, especially for something like Hearts of Iron scripting language, which is just like very obscure, I can imagine, but it does a lot of things right. It does events, localization, basically everything else it does really well. It's not like ChatGPT where it forgets some things that are not correct. The language that ChatGPT uses sometimes is not even accurate on the wiki, so don't use ChatGPT. I found Codex to be really good. It'll figure things out for you, and it has a process of showing you its thinking, and I'll demonstrate that today. So, for example, let me show you how this works. So we have the decisions category. We have a custom decision called Afghanistan Focus Reduction. And as you can see, all we did was add a complete effect. And the complete effect does the check like I told you. checking for the country flag, and if it has a country flag, it'll reduce that focus. So to add the country flag, what we did was for every national focus um, code, we added um, this right here, the select effect. Basically, whenever it's selected, the country flag activates, which is the same as the ID, right? And then for hardware's sake, to like keep your PC running smoothly, when it's completed, when the focus is completed, the country flag clears, saving that memory, opening back that memory. So not um, messing your hardware's performance at all because it gets created and then destroyed like a few seconds later. So that's how we did that, and we had to go through every focus possible, adding this select effect block and this clear country flag block with the correct ID. So as you can see with how many lines of code this focus tree was, right, we're at like 13,580. Very repetitive, a lot, very time consuming. Just copy and pasting, copy and pasting, copy and pasting. And with countries like China, which has like huge focus trees, and so many variations, it is almost impossible to do this by hand. You know what I mean? Like just staying there for at a computer. I spend like hours just staring at my computer. So this is where AI is helpful. And I got halfway through, and then I started like, hey, how could I do this faster? How could I do this more efficient? And that's when I got Codex, and I was able to finish the rest really quickly. So that's the power of AI to help you make tools like this. It's really good, really solid. And once you have it, you could be creative about how you want to use it if you're lacking knowledge. But it's good to have already an understanding of Hoi4 language. It's not really a tool to teach you, it's a tool to help you utilize what you already know and get things done quicker and spend more time on things you like doing. I don't like copying and pasting. I like planning what I want to do with my mod, the design of my mod, how it's going, and that's what I like to do. I don't like to do this other stuff. But if you're against I understand it. Everybody has their own opinions. Um, but for those who are interested in using this, I want to teach you guys how to use it, what's good, where to put your money, where not to put it, if you're going to go down that route. Okay. And then the scripted effects. This is just for when the button is clicked. It runs this effect, checking if you have the focus tree of blah, blah, blah country. It'll activate that specific decision reduction. Okay. So let's type something in, like, for example, could you change the localization of the FTH button to something more? Well, how about this? We'll ask it to change the political power cost of the button. So cost 150 or 250 political power, and then change the rest of the corresponding code so that it costs 250. Okay. So what this should do by the instructions is change this number right here to 150. I mean 250. But not only that, it should go into the code um, to find the code right here of when the button is clicked and change this number to 250 and this number to 249. That's what it should do. Okay. So let's send it off and see what it does. So it's going to tell you what it's doing. It's going to ask to read the file, and it's helpful to select specific things that you want it to know about, so that it doesn't have to read the whole thing. Especially with a large mod folder, um, you're going to have to select the aspects that are important to it and guide it through your mod folder. If not, it's going to have to read everything and use more context than it should, costing you more money. So here's what it says. Um, so yeah, it found the code block of where it needs to work, right? And it's showing us right here. It found the scripted GUI block, which is right here, and it's showing you what it's going to change, which is great. So we're going to allow it to change that. So as you can see, When it's done, it tells you what it did. It changed the tooltip, updated the tooltip, and then it also found where you needed to change the code, so that it also works. So now let's go in game and test this out. So, right, political power is at 150. This is what it should work last time. Doesn't work because it's been updated. So let's set it to 100, 250. So now we're at 250. This is the number we asked it to work at. Let's see if it works. There we go. Perfect. How easy was that? How easy was that? So that is just a limited demonstration. Um, Obviously, this is small potatoes to what you could do with the program and the application and the software, but this is how you set it up. This is how you use it, and that's how you are able to create new things with AI code wise. Okay, so let's jump into the other things that I would like to show you. Here we go. Here is Leonardo. Leonardo is a graphics generation program. So, same thing. A lot of these AI models have plans. This is my plan. And with Leonardo, you're able to generate things that, are AI generated, but a little less, a little more stylized, I suppose. They don't look like Nano Banana. Nano Banana um, has a specific look to it that I can't really explain very well. Um, but these are some of the things I've generated using the program. A lot of art, um, things that I like, interested. These are what portraits could look like. See, this was a Fidel Castro trying to generate something for Fidel Castro, right? This is using Flux 2, which is one of the models available. Let's see if I can find one that's made by Nano Banana. It's Flux 2. Flux 2. Flux 2 is really good at the portraits, I feel like, if you're going for the specific style. Um, it's really hard for me to find one made by Nano Banana because I don't use it. I don't use it at all. It's just really, okay, yeah. So Nano Banana, it's pro. It's very good at getting um, editing down. So it's really good for generating model mockups. Um, so you'll see in the 3D model generation software what they use is Nano Banana as well because it's very good at editing the image and getting like a specific, for in this case, a 3D game asset down style, right? That's what Nano Banana is good for. I don't think it's really good for art, concept art, backdrop art, things like that. It's not good at it. So this looks like made by Nano Banana. Yeah, this is like the style of Nano Banana. Is what I'm trying to say. I was trying to experiment with policy card ideas, but I felt like it was just too AI generated, and that's because, like I said, this is what Nano Banana does really well. Is this kind of style of AI generation? So if it's fine with you and you like this kind of style, I say you're fine with Nano Banana. Um, for me personally, I don't like it. It's just it's too much. It's too much. So do that with that information what you will. Um, like you see, this one was made with Nano Banana, so it's not horrible. It does good things, but it's good at what it's good at, right? That's what they say. So, and then this program too, you could also generate video, other things like that. So it's worth having. I feel like if you're gonna go all in on the AI tools, to pay for a service like this because a lot of other services charge you for image generation. So if you already have one dedicated, you'll just use this and then generate um, more images, I suppose, than using your other points on other software, which we'll jump into right now. So Meshi. Meshi is the 3D model generator that is really solid, really, really solid. I think the pricing is the most fair out of all the other software. You get a lot of points, a lot of generation for the limited money you spend. So I would recommend this service to anybody who wants to do 3D modeling for their specific mod. So if you're doing a fantasy mod and it's really hard to find, if you think Pax Britannica, what other ones are there? Um, Sci-fi, Star Wars mod, Lord of the Rings mods. If you can't find a model, I would suggest or advise you to use Meshi because it's not that bad. It's really good, guys. It's really good. Um, Even for like modern day things, it generates really, really well. So here's some of the assets. Let me show you. and it's really hard to tell the difference. I'll be honest, and it's come quite a ways. But here, this thing right here. So this is the mech that we have in the mod, the basic mech for Germany, and it it lets you generate higher vertice models, which is good for if you're doing something other than Hoi4 modding, you need high quality models, you could do that. But what's really great is that they added a low poly generation model tool, which is exactly what you want for Hearts of Iron. You want a low poly model. So it's really great that they added this. And once you generate the model, if you want to be even more cost effective, when you're texturing it, just put like for example, we have this image here. I would take this image and go take it into ChatGPT or Leonardo, whatever image, and just ask it to generate a new texture. And then because texture generating is cheaper than model generation, just put in a different bunch of different colors, and then you could get 4 different assets out of one model. Really smart and cost effective. So I love this software. It's really great. I made some of my character models from my mod in here. I'm probably going to use this for future animation if I get into that route. I just don't have time recently. I made a blimp. So here you can see this is from Nano Banana, so I'm talking about. This image was generated by Nano Banana, which is what it's good at. And then this is the model. So it's a bit of a gotcha simulator, right? You have to pull the crank and then see what you get. But I found the cost to be quite cheap, so it's worth it. It's worth it, guys. If you want to get custom models and you know what you're doing. Um, and this is a mortar that I've been using. Now, I don't just fully use AI in my mod. If I have spare money, I do get and purchase models. I go with Proto Factor for most of my mods. I've spent over $200 on models already. So I have quite a few of them, but I found these guys have really great low poly mods if you could find one. But this is the example of I'm showing you. You could either spend $200 on specific custom models, or you could spend $20 a month and generate as many as you want. It's up to you. You know what I mean? And I will say that these guys do a great job in what they do, Protofactor, and they make models and animations that I can't get with AI generation. So there's still a reason to go out and purchase these types of models if you have the spare cash. But for people, the average guy who just wants to make a mod cheap as possible, but get their vision out there, I wouldn't blame them for using Meshi and spending $10 a month and generating all the models they need. So, this is where the route I would go if you're gonna look for that. All right, guys. Sorry about that quick cut. But I'm back. Okay, guys. Sorry about that cut. I just got back after waiting for it to generate. But here you could go. As you can see, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. And all you do is texture it, and it'll generate the texture really quick. But that's the low poly. Look at it, 3,000 vertices. That's something you would see inside the game. So really powerful tool. I don't think there is another tool like this out there that is this good that will save you actually quite a bit of money. So